Hello, and welcome. My name is Carolyn Howe. I'm with CFN, which is all about food, travel, lifestyle, all of the things that you want to do. And I am so pleased today to be in Washington, D.C., which is part of the DMV, with this amazing chef and restaurant owner. This is Chris Ricci.
You got it.
Okay, and we're at the restaurant Iriki. Now, I had to get some quick Italian lessons because I wanted to say Irici, but it is Iricchi, which means it's Iriki. And
Brava.
oh, see, already I feel so
Yes,
Italian.
Yes, you're
So-
perfect.
So this restaurant is amazing for a number of reasons. And first of all, welcome and thank you for being here with us.
Well, that's what I say. Welcome. Benvenuta, they say in Italian.
Benvenuta. All
Yes,
right. Well,
we
I
love
feel
having
welcome.
you here.
Well,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
can you tell us a little bit about this restaurant and your chef? I mean, let's just hit it. Let's just
well.
let our viewers and listeners know all about how fabulous this is.
Thank you. Well, I have an opportunity to talk about us and what we do. This is fabulous for me. So we've been here now 32 years. The story started, I don't know if I want to tell you this, but the
Tell
story started, I can't believe, 50 years ago this year when I went, I can't believe I'm saying
It's
this.
okay. It's okay. She looks
When I
amazing.
went to study in Florence, I was an art major. And I went to study in Florence and I fell in love with Italy, with Florence, with the culture, with the color, with the people. And while I was there, I met the Ricci family, who had a little trattoria outside of Florence. Fell in love with the family, fell in love with the area. And when I wasn't in class, I was up at the restaurants working. So I finished my studies, came back, got my degree. 2 weeks after graduation, I went back to Florence and ended up living there for 17 years. Married Francesco Ricci, and the two of us ran this little trattoria right outside in the hills of Florence, very simple little place. And then in 1988, we picked up our two little babies and sold our interest in that restaurant, and we came to Washington and picked this location. And we've been here ever since.
Well, I'm telling you, this is one of my favorite locations in Washington, D.C. They are right on a street. I mean, you're right in the heart of downtown Washington, D.C. They've got outside seating. They've got beautiful inside seating. And let me tell you, we have tucked ourselves away in a quiet place in this restaurant, which is hard to find because the restaurant is always buzzing and lively, and they have all kinds of parties here. She's so well known, but really the thing that makes people come over and over again and makes this a destination must visit is the amazing food that we have in front of us. And I don't know, this is sort of is this a deconstructed
Well,
caprese?
I just put out a few little things to nosh on. This is our caprese salad, which of course is fantastic in the summer and spring months with these wonderful local tomatoes, and fior di latte mozzarella that comes from Italy.
Say that again for me.
Fior di latte.
Fior di latte.
Fior di latte. And over here we have a summer salad called the panzanella, which we grill octopus and we add that to cucumbers and tomatoes and some croutons and some grilled octopus. Really tasty.
Wow. And everything smells so wonderful.
And this over here is, as our waiters like to say, we think is the best calamari in the city. And we do what sets us apart here is what we cook the same way that we cook in Italy. The same way. So these people want to know what our secret is to our calamari. The secret is that they're fresh, they're small, and we dredge them in flour and fry them in clean oil. Little salt, and that's it. So that's really the essence of Tuscan food. That's the essence of what we do here. It's simple food, fresh, made to order, and really just that's the basis for Tuscan food. It's very simple, but very good.
I love
very
it.
Fresh.
So anybody will tell you that being in the restaurant business, thank you for the line, being in the restaurant business, is not really for people who don't have the guts for it. And you know that better than anyone else. And we watch you and follow you on social media, and we see all of the things that you're doing. And what is this about I saw the other day we're like 76 or how many weeks of, what's going on with this?
Oh, yes.
Tell us the story.
The story with that, and I'm very happy and proud to say this, because as we navigate COVID, because we're certainly still not out of it yet, the beginning of March of 2020, my daughter came to me and said, Mom, if you don't do something, I've heard that they're going to be closing restaurants. There's a rumor out there. Of course, we thought it was just going to be for a few weeks. She said, if you don't do something, you're going to lose your life's work. You're going to lose everything. She said, I have an idea. She said, let's see how we can replicate the Iriki dining experience at home for people who are going to be isolating at home. So we created the Iriki Food Club. And she said to me, I want you to design a 4-course menu, one a week, and write a few words about why you chose what you did. Well, it developed into 76 weeks of different menus and different stories. So I've ended up certainly writing about my own experience, my 20-year experience in Italy, but also doing became kind of a travel log, and we talked about different festivals and foods, but it was all Italian-centric for now 76 weeks.
76 weeks. Yeah. And if you can see these stories on their Instagram page, or if you go to their website, you'll see links for things like that. But these are the things that make this a destination must visit. And I always ask people to look for the DMV in the DMV. So the destination must visit in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And this is certainly a place in Washington, DC to come. So I'm looking at this. I've eaten here before. I fell in love with this place. First time I ever ate here was in 2013. And since then, I have loved it and continue to love it. And you know, sometimes people say, well, the food used to be good, but then it went down. And I think really because your feelings about food are what? Just share.
Well, this is an extension of my restaurant is an extension of me, and I'm always here. I am hands-on and have been for 32 years. This experience for me is very, very important. I feel like it's almost my vocation to maintain and promote this Italian culinary tradition. So I'm very careful about what we serve and how we serve it. And I pay close attention because it's something that's, particularly now when things in culinary and throughout the world, things are changing so quickly. I feel like it's really important that we remember the joy of sitting around the table, breaking bread together, having a wonderful glass of wine, and communing together. It's really important.
I think that's, when you have a feeling like that, and that's very strongly how you want to move about, I think people sense that. When they come here, and I'm seeing the traffic come and go, and seeing the other side of the restaurant that is already bustling with families and with couples and with individuals, it makes me realize they knew that this was a place that they needed to go. And you're right, it absolutely is an experience. Behind us is this beautiful bar that's loaded with plants, and just the look and feel. I mean,
and that's another thing I'm really proud of. So the rest of the story is when we decided that we were going to open a restaurant in the States, I hate to admit it, but we had no clue what we were doing. Nobody could teach us anything about the food, but running a restaurant in Italy and running a restaurant in this country are two completely different things.
How so?
Well, in Italy, it was an extension of our family. The restaurant was in the bottom level of our house, and we had the local kids in T-shirts and jeans were waiting on tables. There were no menus. I would go to the table and tell people what we were serving that night. So that was a real communing with your customers. Here, we just knew that we wanted to open an authentic Tuscan Italian restaurant. So what did we do? We took a 20-foot container, and we brought things like, I'm sorry you can't see it, but we have these beautiful, enormous Tuscan olive oil urns that we created and brought with it. Yeah,
that
one
of
that's
them?
one of them. They
I'm
are
so- oh.
magnificent.
It's gorgeous.
But our, the terracotta tiles were made in Impruneta, a little town near Florence that's known for its terracotta. We brought the wood-burning oven and our espresso machine, the polenta machine, these show plates we brought with us. So we didn't know exactly where the restaurant was going to be, but we knew the feel. We knew what we wanted to communicate. And I think we were successful. I feel very much at home here.
You know what, and I have to say that for people who are waiting and who will be experiencing this or longing to experience this is what got me. So on the outside, this is a very, very modern, very cosmopolitan. Clearly you're in downtown Washington, D.C. when you see everything around us. And then you walk inside and instantly the feel changes. From the minute your foot steps on the terracotta tile, now that I know that comes from
Impruneta.
So I didn't know that before. I just knew my shoes clicked on it beautifully. But the minute you come inside, you feel like you've been drawn into a bit of a story and a bit of a secret.
Wonderful.
And
that's
that.
Mission accomplished.
Well, see, that's it. And then
Yes.
everything tucked away. So these little areas in the restaurant, little private places you can sit. I mean, and if you choose to sit outside, the greenery. And I saw a white dinner party that you did. I mean, well, you must have filled the entire.
Oh, it was awesome. So what we've done over the years, because interesting in the restaurant business in this country, as you get older, you have to really fight for attention. Whereas in Italy, if you go to Florence to some of the iconic little trattorias, you have to make reservations months in advance. But here, American, it's kind of about, what's the new place? Have you been over there? Have you been to that part of town? Have you seen this? So I've created over the years events that bring people together. So we wanted something to do in the middle of June that would bring people to we have a beautiful, we call our piazza outside. And I said, why not replicate that white dinner where everybody comes dressed in white, and we do long tables with beautiful candelabras and flowers, and we serve this communal dinner. And oh my goodness, do we have fun.
Well, we're going to
so
share,
great.
We are absolutely going to share pictures of that because it's amazing. And we're going to take a break. And then Chris and I are going to eat some of this delicious food. I already have a bite of the best calamari I've ever tasted. But right after the break, we're going to talk about some of these wonderful events they put on and give us a little bit more inside information on this wonderful place, Erie.
Time. It has a different meaning in the U.S. Virgin Islands. It goes backwards, forwards, it stops. St. Croix is rooted in history. So much of it still remains untouched.
I remember running on these streets as a kid. This shop was right down there. It opened the same year I was born. This is where the original Cruzan hook was born. It's the symbol of these islands. And I wanted to have my hands in that very same history. I want to be able to pass it down to my family while still putting a new spin on it.
The U.S. Virgin Islands, we have an amazing culture that developed over time from all over the world.
St. John feels so untouched. Being underwater is like another world. There's no worries, there's no stress. I can just escape. This is my happy place. My passion for scuba diving came at just being fascinated with the water and wanting to be a mermaid. And this is the closest thing I can get to achieving mermaid status. Canadians just love being outdoorsy. We live for adventure, so we love anything hiking, being on the water, diving, snorkeling, and St. John has it all.
It's like some spirit is protecting the island and keeping them raw. The Makujumbi watches over the island. From up there, they keep the evil spirits away. The nightlife in St. Thomas is absolutely amazing. There's always something going on. Everyone comes together to dance and catch a vibe. We're always celebrating. We celebrate freedom, culture, the food, the smell, the music. It's always a celebration. The people here are probably the most priceless thing because they keep the culture going. There's so many different influences on these islands. Food from all kind of countries coming together in new dishes. All of us came from somewhere, but all that we call this home. The VI is a new melting pot. This is where the past and the future comes together.
You know you are a hot one. We are lime, we are laugh, we are chat, we no chill, we are hot one. Temperature rise, beer vibes in this a hot one. Link up, connect, bust a sweat when you're dead on the hot one. We gonna spice it up like fire.
And we're back, and I am eating and loving every bit of it. You know, the more I learn about this food, you know how people always say, oh, I cook with love, or you can feel the love. What you feel is you feel the deliciousness of the history and the experience behind everything. Tastes so good. So now I can't even have this mouthful. But I've got to ask you, in terms of the menu, because you're talking about 76 different menus, but then you have your own menu. Tell us about some of the reasons why people need to be coming to Iriki in Washington, D.C.
Yes, well, we're very proud of what we do. As I said, we have this sister restaurant in Florence, and our menu here has many of the same things that we have in our sister restaurant. But basically, as I mentioned before, this Tuscan food is very genuine and simple, and we do the same thing here. So we do everything from baking our own breads to making our own gelatos, we make all of our own pastas and sauces. We butcher our own meats. Everything as if you were in the old country. And I think this probably is what has set us apart. We're not Michelin star. We're not a Michelin star restaurant. We make good, flavorful food
I
that you
have to
could
agree.
eat. You could come and eat every day.
Okay, and I feel that way, and I feel very much that I could, and probably I should, come and eat every day. And when you say this is simple food, what every flavor is distinct. Everything is so good.
Yes.
And she's
So-
right about the calamari. I mean, I can't say the word. Say it for me.
Calamari.
Calamari. Okay, I
Calamari.
can't say it that way, but if I could, this really is the best I've ever had. It's something about the breading, and it's just the flavor that's
It's just
in it.
enough. Just
It is
enough.
just enough.
Mhm.
And I felt that way about this. I never had grilled octopus like this.
Ah.
I never did. And this has
Uh-huh.
like some sort of extra glaze
Well, I
on
can't
it.
tell you too much.
Well, I don't want your secret
it's
sauce.
very good, but I
Okay.
can't tell you too much.
Okay, so I'm going to be really honest with you. I don't need to know your secret. I
Uh-huh.
just need to know that you know your secret.
That's right.
So that when I come here,
Absolutely.
I can benefit from, I
Yes.
can savor the secret. How about that?
Yes.
And so when you think in terms of restaurants right now, and the reason why I wanted to have you on this show, because about lifestyle, food, and travel is the fact that people are looking for destinations. Now, to be very honest, right now it's really not wise to try and fly to Italy. So I'm not going to be able to experience authentic Tuscan cuisine there.
Right.
But I can come here. I can drive a few hours from New York City or Philadelphia and come to Washington, D.C. and eat at Eureka.
Yes.
I can drive up
Thank
from
you.
Charlotte because it's that much of a destination.
And
I mean,
I think
I
I can easily say that there's no other restaurant quite like Iriki.
I love that.
We're different. We're different from the way we serve. I can give you an example on typical restaurant service. If you
Okay.
go to a restaurant, and actually this is one of my pet peeves. You go to a restaurant and a maitre d' or a hostess seats you. Then the order taker comes to the table, takes your order. Then he disappears, and then a food runner comes and brings your food. And then when I want something, I never know who to call. Are you my waiter? Are you my waiter? So what we've done, it's the same as it is in Italy. You have one waiter, and that waiter is responsible for your table. So he's always standing in his station within eye shot, so that if you need absolutely anything, he's right there for you. So I would have to say that not only do we pride ourselves on our food, but also on our service.
See, I
You
love
know, when
that.
we first opened, 32 years ago, we did this very typical Italian menu. If you remember 32 years ago, Americans thought Italian food was spaghetti and meatballs and pizza.
It was Chef Boyardee, let's be honest.
Yes. So this idea of calamari and grilled octopus and some of these pastas that we're going to try were completely foreign. And many times it could be off-putting when someone comes to a restaurant and they feel uneasy. So what we would always say to our staff is people might not recognize what's on the menu, but everybody recognizes how they're treated.
Wow.
So there has always been an emphasis on customer service and this interaction with the customer. That being said, our waiter today, Carlos, has been with me for 16 years. So
Okay.
even after COVID, so many of my core people have stayed with us and have come back.
Wow, that's amazing. And when you think about what's happening in hospitality and restaurants in particular, the shutdown.
Yeah.
Did you close? Did you have to
We
close?
did not close one day.
Are you
Now,
serious?
Operating a restaurant in Washington, D.C. during COVID and during all of the protests and demonstrations,
Exactly.
and there was some violence in the city. Some of the times where we had to clear off the entire patio and put wood up on the windows or black paper on the windows. So we've gone through a lot over the last 18 months, and I think what I would like to stress right now is that inner city restaurants where we are, for example, where we're in the business section of the city, we're still under COVID lockdown. These offices are still closed. People haven't come back to offices.
That's
People
true.
are not flying in to lobby the Hill or flying in for business meetings. The hotels are still empty. So it's really important, I think, for people to be cognizant of the fact that independent restaurants like ours are still struggling. It's been
Okay.
we've given it our all for the last 18 months, but now we're talking about offices not coming back till January. So it's
Wow.
but we've made it this far.
And you're going to keep going.
We're going to keep going.
You have such a following, and this is the kind of food. Honestly, I can't create this at home. I can do something that could possibly be named similarly, but it's not going to taste like this. It's not going to have this flavors, the balances of everything that you had. And I really hate to sound that way, but really, I can't make
Well,
it.
you can't. I'm hoping that you get to taste it. We do a sugo is how they say sauce in Tuscany. Our sugo is like nothing you've ever tasted. It takes us 12 hours to make
12
that.
hours to
12
make a
hours to
sauce?
make the sauce. So it's something that you can't, and it has to be done slowly. So it's not like you can just whip it together for Sunday supper.
Like if you need it. Okay,
Yeah.
so my question for you, because we want listeners and viewers who are planning trips to Washington, D.C., who live in driving distance, and anything is driving distance these days, to this amazing destination, how can they contact you, or how can they find out about your restaurant?
Oh, please. So on the internet, we can be reached at irickidc.com. So that's IRICCHI. So it's got the C, it's got the H there after the C. So it's irickidc.com. And if you get a chance, try taking a look at our erickyfoodclub.com.
Well, what's the food club?
So that's what I talked about, those special menus that I would do every week, and people would drive up and I would deliver every single one personally to the car. So I got to know all of my customers were like this. We really were able to not only replicate the dining experience at home for people, but we created a whole new community of people who were just so wonderful that decided that they were going to support us.
I
And they're
love
still
it.
coming every week to pick up their dinners to take home.
Well, so because people need to know this, we're going to make sure that they know how to find you on Instagram. We're going to make certain that they know how to find you. And we're going to post some of your signature dishes
Great.
on our page so that people understand this is an experience worth taking. You're afraid to get on a plane. I get it. I am too. You're afraid to get on a train. It doesn't matter. Get in your car, and whether you decide to dine in or dine on the, what do you call it?
Piazza.
Piazza. On the piazza, or whether you decide to simply drive by, pick it up, and take it home in the warmth of your own home or the chill of your own home, you can do that, but you have to experience Iriki. And so how exactly do you say, you said that we were welcome to come, but how would we express to people that they are welcome to return?
Okay. That's easy. Siete sempre dei benvenuti e alla prossima volta. So you're always welcome, and we'll see you the next time.
Wow, we love it. This has been such a treat for us, and I can't wait to eat the rest of this food. IrikiDC.com is one of the places, it is a destination you must visit in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much, Chris.
Oh,
you
thank you,
have been
Carolyn.
amazing.
It was a pleasure.
I
Thank you.
love it. Bye-bye.